the prophetic word is not always about, a full sentence or a full what is it? I'm looking for the word. A full portfolio of what's going to happen. It could just be something like, be still.
Be still, yeah. I remember you recently gave it, and you see that's another thing, what I love about the prophetic, is that I think it was a prophetic class. I don't know what I was doing, and then you came and just said, this is what I hear God said, and you said 2 words, go there, and tears were flowing. You see now, you go there. But because to me, I know what go there means.
Yes.
You know, maybe I've been having an argument with God, like, please, we can't do that. Then he just gives 2 words, go there. And I understood everything, started crying, saying, oh God, okay. Because it's as simple as that. There was no other instruction. All you had is 2 words. Go there. And I understood what that meant. So the prophecy can play out in so many, and we haven't even gone to prophetic dreams. We can have prophetic dreams which are sometimes warnings, you know. But I think also there's maturity, because sometimes, let's say like now, you have a prophetic dream or something that somebody died. I think the one thing I know is first you need to pray, because God is warning. You know, that's it. The prophetic gifting can also be a warning. So he's warning you, but you can avert it. So you can't just dream that people died and you just leave it like that. You need to pray. You need to ask God, what do I do? And then you can't go and tell people, oh, I dreamt that you died. No, that is not. So that's why there's a wisdom that's needed. And there's some dreams that you have. It may not even be that drastic. It may be something that you saw, that it could be a plane crash, it could be something, or a car. You need now to go back to God and say, you've allowed me to have this information. Why do I want to have this information? And most likely the first default setting is prayer. And the other thing I remember that we were taught in the same Bible school we went to Teckla is that there's prophecy also can be in levels. So if you're a prophet, let's say, I think the analogy they gave, if you're a prophet in the city, you're standing in the ground, you can only see this. If there's a prophet on a wall, they're standing on a wall, so they can see further. Yeah, they can see the surroundings, they can see further. Then you could even have a prophet who's standing on a mountain. They can see much further than the one on the ground or the one on the wall can see. So I believe that you also grow in the prophetic as you grow in that walk with God, as you grow in maturity, as you grow in what he can entrust you with. Because also I'm thinking, why would he reveal it to you if there's nothing you're going to do about it? He has to reveal to someone who's going to do something about it, or ask him, what do I do, and obey. So there's a lot of attached to that prophetic gifting that we can do, but also understand the different levels and I think the different growth.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
We're good about prophecy.
I think so.
Good, and we're good about the company of prophecy. We need to check how long we've been around. I don't know how long we've been around.
I think we've been
almost
2 years.
Yeah,
2 years
at least.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And our number is growing.
Yes, which is good.
And
I know how people always come and say, no, what Pastor Angie, even you, prophets, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I can't help with this. And then it's amazing when they step into the space, they prophesy. And then I always tell people when they come and say, oh, Karamo told me this, or Dorcas told me this, I said, go and tell them so that you encourage them.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, somebody, Rose Luther told me this, call her.
Yes.
Tell her the word you gave me has come to pass. Why? Because it's important. Because it also grows them and grows their confidence. Even meeting, every time somebody says, oh, you prophesied this about me and it's come to pass, I'm encouraged.
That's right.
And I'm encouraged to grow, and I'm encouraged to pray more and to hear God and to deliver words, even sometimes that are difficult to deliver, but have to be delivered.
That's right.
Wow. Good. Okay. So 2018.
2018.
There's a whole lot of things. But the very first one, because this came from the team.
So what we usually do is we get the team.
We get the in fact, Teckla compiles the words. Everybody gives what they're hearing, from God, and then what is interesting, each and every single time there's a theme, and it's completely random, because we'll give at different times, but we have with a definite deadline by which you should have given your word. So the one that came out very strongly for 2018 is lights, camera, action.
Wow. And I love that. Lights, camera, action.
Yeah.
Very, very simple.
Yeah.
You've been in a season of preparation. You've been doing all these things. Sometimes you feel like you're running on a treadmill and not going anywhere. But now God is about to change that. He's about to propel people into their destinies. He's about to move them or remove whatever barriers it was that were holding them from, living out the purpose for which he created them. All that is about to happen. So there's the divine alignments that are happening.
Wow.
In fact, there was an example that was given about you will suddenly see people that you'd forgotten, associations, friends maybe you had and they kind of like fell by the wayside, but they're coming. Those are divine alignments. They could be destiny helpers. So we are encouraged, do not ignore what seems like the smallest things, because those could be the right associations, it could be the right opportunity, the right relationships, the right partnerships, and also avoid situations where because you're very fixated on what it is that you want to see, you do not do what you call due diligence. So we might end up in wrong partnerships. An example was given of a Gibeon. What's it called? The
Gibeonites who lied deception.
I remember them saying that they were lying from very far,
but they were
just from around the corner. But they wanted to create a covenant with these guys. So also discernment, I guess.
Discernment is very important.
And I think when you say discernment, let me just interrupt. Sorry, but in discernment, what happens is God says something, or your spirit tells you something, then you start arguing. You start conversations about, no, that could not be true. What we need to do is follow the deposit.
Yes.
Yeah. Whatever God triggers or unveils, instead of arguing it, especially we argue from a very that cannot be true. Learn to listen to what deposits I think are being made in you, and don't try to bring logic into it. It's a discernment. It's something God has dropped in your spirit so that you discern.
That's right. And it's also defined as distinguishing spirits, so that you know also the source of whatever it is that's being presented to you, approaching to you, or whatever it is that's manifesting.
Strange fires.
Be able to make that determination.
And you see, for me, like just recently something like that happened. I came into a room, this is a person who's been around, I looked at the person, something in my spirit told me, something is very off. And I had the word God say, disconnect. And you know what to start? Now first of all, me, I'm trying to nurture relationships. I've messed up so many relationships. I don't have very many friends. Now, what do you mean now disconnect? Me, I always start with a PowerPoint presentation. Pastor Angie, please, you need more friends than enemies, please try. But I'm telling you, I couldn't stop. And you see, what I was picking, I was like, there's something, that person is dabbling in something, the strange fire that you do not need to be associated. Right now, that's not the fight you want. And I think that's another thing. I don't know, that's been prophesied a bit. You need to know which fight you're fighting.
Exactly.
Don't step into fights that are not yours. Because yes, maybe we should be able to deal with this person and whatever spirits and whatever they're doing, but maybe God is saying, this is not the time. Yeah, what I want you to do right now is disconnect from that person. Then maybe God will do them. I'm praying about them. I'm praying for them. God will work his way around. But I think that came because when things drop in your spirit, stop now trying to add logic and sense, because it's dropped in your spirit. Because we're very strong spiritually. We sense. That's why people go interview 4 house girls and say this is the one. You don't know what it is, but your spirit is drawing you to this one, and your spirit is rejecting this one, and you have no facts. Because we are spiritual beings, so we must learn to discern things spiritually.
So that was very strong. The other one was worship holds the key.
Amen.
Worship holds the key, because you could have all this knowledge about 2018 and all that God has for you, but for you to truly unlock what God has for you, you must be in a state of worship. And it's not necessarily formal worship. It is when you wake up, when you're walking, when you sleep, even when you dream. Let worship be the key that unlocks. Because, in fact, I remember I had it very strongly in my spirit. The harvest is ready. It's time to bring it in.
It is.
It is time to bring it in.
It is. And you see, the way we're going to bring it in first of all is to show God's glory.
Exactly.
So they're going to be amazing results. Results that nobody can explain. There's some things you just say, hey, this can only be God. There's nobody else. Even if you don't know God,
there's no
logic. There's no logic, there's no explanation. You're just like, okay, for sure there's a God. But the other thing with worship I wanted to tell people is that I think we've noticed over the last 2 or 3 years that God is ministering to us through songs. So one of the things that happened first, even it happened to me, is I started, usually when I want to pray, God will say worship or play even, things I don't normally do. I used to be, if we're worshiping, then it's me who has to be singing, He'll tell me now, play that song on loud, and worship me. So it's creating atmospheres of worship, which may not even be traditional. So it could be a song that it's for the season. There's a song that's going to minister to you this season. You play it on repeat. You're laughing because
it could be a hymn.
It could be a hymn. You see now, Teckla hymns. Hymns, But hymns are very deep. The one thing about hymns, if you look at the words,
lyrics
you're like, wow. But now the problem is the mutaratara people and singing it in monotone. But anyway, whatever is ministering to you as worship. So it could be music from YouTube. It could be you create a playlist. It could be a certain song that God needs you to play, and it should be in in your space. Like now for me, the one that's ministering to me now is, I think it's called Leon Timbo. Oh, yes. But it's, I lean not on your own understanding. Beautiful. But it's Proverbs 3:5-6. Beautiful. So I know there's a message in there. Yeah. God is saying, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Yes. Do not lean on your own understanding. And in all your ways, acknowledge Him. And He will direct. You see, it's not just to acknowledge. He will direct your path. So I'm aware that now spiritually I have to be very leaning on my, not leaning on my own understanding. And that's the song that's ministered. I mean, I'm thinking nothing. Is it nothing without you?
Dr. Tumi. That has been ministering to me.
Let me tell you, you just get it. Hallelujah to Jehovah.
Yes, one time.
Nothing I'm nothing without you.
Yeah. And let me tell you what's really funny about when that song plays. Nothing without you is all I remember. Because I will play it, I'll finish, then I'm in my car, I'm trying to sing it.
The rest of the song,
I don't remember the rest of the song. I just remember that bit. Nothing without you. Yeah. So that is basically then Isaiah 40.
Can we go back to worship?
Yes.
Because of places of worship. Just like now Toa was a spiritual.
Oh, it was amazing.
Like, I saw you. Neema, I was like, what's going on with Neema over there? I saw you. I just out of the corner. Let me tell even the one with Israel. Wow. You see, now Israel kept us. Now that is worship now. He kept us on our feet, Israel Houghton. There's no point we sat down. There was no entertainment. It was worship. I felt like, I was like, wow, I've worshipped God for like 5 hours, you know? So being in places also where worship is taking place. And also, if you come, and it's okay, I told you there's nothing wrong with any church in the world. There are some churches now, it's 2 slow songs, 1 fast song, fine. That's the church. You now get home and have your own worship experience, or have it in your car. Put on your music full blast, or have it in your office. Yes. As you're doing your work, put the earphones in here and have your own work. Be responsible for creating your own worship experience.
In fact, as you speak, it has just dropped in my spirit. And it is something that blocks so many people from receiving all God has for them. Stop being worried about the person next to you.
That's the problem. Who cares about the person?
Who cares about the person? You look in your high heels and your beautiful dress.
You're sitting like Israel. Now, say, now me and the front view and Doris is here. Now I needed to prostrate and there was no space. I told people, move your feet. I don't care. It's not about them. I'm not. It's me now. There's a place where it reaches now. I have to enter surrender, and I have to be flat on the ground because something is. And you know those actions unlock a lot of what God has for us. He's asking you to kneel. He's asking you to lift up your hands. Sometimes I go to some churches, my practice. Hey, here we don't lift up our hands. I tell you where. They believe me. I lift up because is it to lift up your hands? Does God want you to kneel? Does He want you to prostrate? What does He want you to do? Does He want you to break out in tongues? Me, you know, I feel nothing. It's time to speak in tongues. It's time to speak in tongues. So flow with what God is asking you to engage, and don't say you go and kneel in the house. No, because the moment to kneel is now.
Yes.
What is so funny, you reminded me of something. Because one time, I don't know what you were doing. There was something going on at chapel and you were being asked to pray. And I had kneel. Then I'm like, but everybody's standing.
Yeah, you know,
you kneel. Yes.
I knelt. Then I was like, I'm not going to think about it. I was told to kneel, so I knelt. And sure enough, I felt things from my spirit. But I was like, people must have thought I was completely off my rocker.
But that's not the problem. Let me tell you, I have to share another one. I have to share another one. Me, I go and I was telling you about it. Now that's the problem with being in prophetic spaces and why you always have to be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing with the right people. So I get invited, I think, by Viv and Carol to a breakfast. And I'm always, hey, when things are happening, I don't know, men and women of God have come. I said, okay, let me go and see. So when I entered, what shocked me is, and God does this to shock me. So I entered and immediately I entered the room. I felt the presence of God. So I knew, I even told him, hey, Kumbe, you're here. Okay, let's go and enjoy this thing. But now that's what I'm saying. You have to have revelation on how you're going to receive what you receive because you don't understand where it's unlocking doors for places you can't see. So as we're talking, so it's a breakfast. So people are sitting, eating breakfast, and then the speaker comes on. It was Cindy Jacobs and her husband. Let me tell you, Cindy Jacobs opened her mouth and began to prophesy. And I had God say, and you're still standing. You're still sitting, eating. That is me releasing destiny.
Leave the basic.
Do you know? In seconds, I was flat. Yes. So in a room of 400 people, you look like you're mad.
Yeah.
Everyone is sitting at their table. It is a breakfast. We're in our suit and ties, and we're not,
polite chatter.
Yes, because of your concern about the other person. I'm sure I'm not the only one who received that instruction in that room. Let me tell you, thank God with the people who know me, I was on the ground. And when you hear the things she was declaring, she was releasing the reformation for nations, the anointing to reform nations, opening the doors. She said all doors to the USA are open to you guys, releasing finances. Yani, it was such a prophetic moment. There was no other way to receive it, except prostrate for me anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, I think that's important. That this worship is also listening to God. And in this season, everything that God wants to unlock for you, He's going to give you an instruction, which is your instruction.
Obedience.
Forget about everybody else.
It's obedience.
You obey. On behalf of you, your generations, your purpose, your ministry, your business, everything that you need, just obey God and learn to obey Him. That's amazing.
I think also it's a different dimension of the worship is very true what you've talked about. There's the element of the music and there's the song and there's the singing and so forth. But there's also another component of it where it's connected with things as simple as decisions that you make. Because when you worship, you're telling God that you're worth it. Right? And if I have, and I'm in this place and I need to do, I'm not sure what to do, I will choose the one that says, I prefer you. I prefer you, Lord. You are worth it. So it becomes something that's ingrained in your life, your lifestyle. So as you go from day to day, your activities and everything, you keep on pronouncing and declaring through even the small things that you're worth it. I prefer you over and over again. And that's another dimensional component of worship as well.
Worship. You are enough.
Right, you're enough.
And I choose you.
I choose you. I prefer you.
Which is why
I
you
choose your
kneel,
way.
because you're saying I choose your way.
Yeah.
The world here is not,
right,
it's not, but me, that's
it's
the instruction. Yeah,
it's you.
Let me listen to you.
It's
so
you.
that's very important.
It's you.
Amen.
Yeah, so that came out very strongly. The other thing is 2018 rejuvenation.
Amen.
Rejuvenation. Those, people have been, if you have been locked. I kept hearing, I think it's Isaiah 61, set people free. God set people free. And even Isaiah 40, you will run and not grow tired.
Not grow weary.
Not grow weary. That is the word for God's people in 2018.
Amen.
There are those who are going to be put in places and spaces they never imagined. They kept looking at like, I know what needs to be done, but I do not have the power and the authority to do it. God is removing those who are not supposed to be there and putting His people where they're supposed to be.
Amen.
Yeah.
And that's very amazing because as we prayed, we know we have the apostolic and prophetic intercessors. One of the things that we really prayed this year in 2017 is positioning. So of course, I think because we've prayed and now God will push people in line because you have to be positioned to do certain things.
Yes.
Even when people are looking, I remember what was wealth wealth is not just to have wealth; it's so that you can have influence.
Exactly.
So that there's a door that can be opened to you. So that you can have access. The word is actually so you can have access, but access with maturity, because God has given you sufficient knowledge and a sufficient foundation and a relationship with Him that you're not going to abuse the wealth, you're not going to abuse the influence, you're not going to abuse the power, that He's trusting you to do that. So I believe that positioning is something that people should be expecting in 2018 and shift, And God, I think, I don't know where the scripture is, but He says that He raises up one and He brings another.
Exactly.
So to expect that shifting, to forget to shift you in position.
And vigilance. Because remember, even as God wants to is releasing all these things and has all this for you, the devil is not playing his city idol.
He's not just sitting.
He's not just sitting. And he will attack you where you least expect it. Or again, in things that you thought were long gone, long buried. So you must be vigilant. And that's where, again, we go back to the whole thing of worship. It is all tied. It is all tied.
And I think obedience, one of the words that I know that I'm going to give later is about Ruth and Naomi.
Yes.
But when you're speaking, I thought of Esther and Mordecai.
Yes.
You see, one of the things also that got Esther ahead was humility. So in terms of this positioning, there has to be humility, because Esther, there were many women, I can't remember how many there were, but there were many women. But there's a way she related with the eunuch who was taking care of them that won her favor.
Right.
She could have ignored the eunuch and thought, who the hell does he think he is?
Help me.
Yeah, he can't help me. Who is he? So he's a eunuch. You stand there. But there's a way she related with this guy, the way she related with her uncle Mordecai, the way she related with the people, even when the word came, the way she related even in saying, okay, if I perish, I perish. So worship. She showed she worshipped God. She got her whole household to fast, and then she approached the king.
Yes.
Right.
So there's a way that there's a humility, and especially in relationships, and of people who look like they're not significant.
Exactly.
Like that chief eunuch didn't look significant.
No.
Mordecai, you could have forgotten Mordecai. See, now you're in the palace now. You're all that and a bag of chips. So now who is Mordecai?
Yes.
So there was a humility that she had in the way she interacted with people who are important in her life, and she could have lorded over them because she was queen.
In fact, as you speak, I've just thought about a typical practical situation, not even biblical. It could even be that messenger who holds the key for you to get in that next promotion in the office.
Yes, because you don't know who his ear he has.
Yeah, you don't know.
And it reminds me of George. George said that George and Winnie, when they ministered at the Unstuck Prayer Day, said that we need to, I think it's related to positioning, who has the king's ear. Because Haman had the king's ear, but there was a shift. And And then Mordecai now had the king's ear. So that's another thing we need to pray. And you see why? It's not just to be nice and have the king's ear. No. It's because Haman is misadvising him and trying to kill people and trying to exalt himself and say how he should be robed, and he didn't know it was for Mordecai. But Mordecai has the king's ear to direct him in the right things. But of course, he couldn't annihilate the Jews, because if you looked at the pattern in the Bible, I've always noticed how God would send people would come against God's people, and sort of he'd be there, like Babylon. I think it's Babylon Kwaza. So they come, they mess up with God's people, they mess up. When God now delivers the Israelites, how he deals with Babylon even is not fair. You're like, see, you're the one who told us to go to war with these guys. God is not giving these people. They have considered me. Deal with them. They deal with them. My goodness, don't never do it. When he has finished, he has removed the Israelites. He comes down on the Babylonians like a ton of bricks. I thought we were in this together. No, now, because you can't deal with people. So he gave the king Xerxes, he gave him the right advice, because if that king had dealt with the Jews, woe to you and your generations. Woe to you and your generations. Please, this one, just leave them. Let's do the right thing by them. And they were able to reverse edicts that could never. I mean, once the king had put his seal on it, they were not, but they were able to reverse them, you know?
In fact, so that's kind of miracles. We do have people who are righteous, who have been in those positions of influence and have done nothing.
They've done nothing.
So God is moving you.
Yeah. God and you see, it's that thing of they don't want to be stand out.
You don't look different.
You don't look different. And you see, it reminded me of so many things. I remember this year, Dallas IPL, when I went to International Pastors and Leaders Conference, I always tell my viewers my stories, don't worry. So when I went to IPL this year, it's because I'd gone to Pisca in February and stayed in the States like for 6 weeks because I was writing my book, which I didn't even finish. Came back, then I was like, surely America is not Machakos, please. We're not going back. How can we? I was telling God, even it's shameful too. You've just come from the States. You know, those are the conversations I have with my God, so let me have them. I'm like, I cannot spend 6 weeks in the States and then go back for IPL. But traditionally, by the gifting of God, he allows me to go to IPL. Why? And I also understood. I had a man of God say this weekend that, you see, when I sit under the bishop's anointing, vision flows out of me. Like, I can't sleep. After the conference, I'm writing, you know, strategies are flowing. So that's another reason why I go. It's not just for fun to say I went to a conference.